Can Tesla's earnings revive Tesla's stock? We're going to find that out potentially in today's video, but Batman Zoom, we also have so many other earnings going on tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so pre-market, we have Boeing, we have AT&T, we have Abbott, to name a few, and pre-market is when we're really getting into it. Obviously, we have Tesla.
Stop.
What's up?
You said pre-market for Tesla?
Oh, did I say pre-market?
Yeah.
I didn't. Okay.
I'll just edit this out.
Okay.
Can Tesla's earnings revive Tesla's stock? We're going to go over some things that we think might actually do that. But before that, Fat Man Zoom, we have so many earnings going on tomorrow. So why don't we let everybody know what we're up against? Ah, shit. Okay.
Just say we have so many other earnings, Fat Man Zoom, and then I can go right into it.
Can Tesla's earnings save Tesla's stock? And that's something that we're going to look into potentially finding out. But Fat Man Zoom, we have so many other earnings tomorrow as well.
Yeah, tomorrow really... Stop. I'm sorry. We got to say Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Okay, that's fair. All
right, let's go. We got this.
Can Tesla's earnings save Tesla's stock? We're going to go over some things that I think might help us answer that. Can Tesla's earnings save Tesla's stock? We're going to go over a few things that I think could answer that question for us. But Fat Man Zoom, we have so many earnings going on Wednesday.
Yeah, so pre-market, we have Boeing, we have AT&T, we have Abbott Labs, to name a few. And then after hours, when I think things are really going to start rolling on Wednesday, we have Tesla, Intel, Las Vegas Sands, that I think we're gonna really see some fireworks afterwards. But listen, Tesla is the big dog, and I want to talk about potential catalysts and things that could make it move, and also potentially see it go down further. But before we get into all that, I want to know, which, besides Tesla, which earnings are you most excited about?
I think for me, it's going to be Boeing. Boeing's kind of been in the doghouse ever since the pandemic, and really just before then with the whole 737 MAX issues. But demand for planes is insane. And so really all Boeing needs to do is just talk about their plans to increase production. And if they can do that, I think Boeing delivers, because you and I both have Spirit Air Systems, which moves pretty much in tandem with Boeing, because they are such a huge manufacturer for Boeing on their parts and fuselages and that sort of thing. That's what has me the most excited tomorrow, besides Tesla.
So it sounds like you should, if we see a good earnings from Boeing, that potentially Spirit Aerosystems as well could have a sympathy move.
Yeah, I mean, and that's ticker symbol SPR. If you guys haven't checked that out before, I think it's going to be a good alternative if you don't really want to warm up to Boeing.
Speaking of sympathy, I just want to touch on really quickly, I mentioned after hours Las Vegas Sands has earnings. We talked about the news with Wynn. So Wynn is moving out of online sports betting. SPAC deal didn't go through. They felt the costs were too high for customer acquisition.
Yeah.
So they're bailing on online sports betting. Bodes well for one of our favorite stocks, which is Penn. Potentially bodes well for DraftKings as well. Las Vegas Sands, do you think there could be something there as well that they discuss in that realm?
I don't think so. I think that what Las Vegas Sands does really well is manage their exposure to Macau. And I think that that's going to be something that they really lean on. And then that'll be the story about tomorrow, I think, with Las Vegas Sands, because of things kind of being lifted over there. How much is COVID impacting Macau right now? And is it going to continue to be trouble ahead for them, or are things easing up? My hope is, and my expectations are, is that we're going to see a really nice outlook from Las Vegas Sands as well.
And last one before we get to the big dog, Intel. So legacy companies, we saw IBM Tuesday actually have a strong day. They finally starting to get a move. Intel, one that's had a tough, really couple years. Is legacy value going to come back, and could Intel have potentially an IBM type move?
Yeah, man, I think so. Look at this chart. This chart, when you compare it to something like an AMD, right? You would think right now that Intel is just dead. It's a dead dog. They're going out of business if you compare it to something like AMD. Here's AMD's chart, and it's obviously pulled back with the rest of the market, but you can see this tells a much different story, and rightfully so. It's been rewarded for a lot of good reasons, and their development and some of their nanotechnology has been incredible. But Intel is no slouch either, and this to me is a really cheap stock. It's trading under 10 times next year's earnings. We look at something like AMD, which is much more than that. I think that Intel obviously their earnings are going to tell a whole story about whether or not this is going to be worth scooping up. But to me, this just seems like the risk reward seems worth it, as cheap as it actually is.
All right, let's get into the one we all came for, and that's Tesla. And guys, again, I think we'll have a prediction that could get this stock moving, which make sure you stick around for. But first, let me just set the stage. Tesla has earnings. Everybody knows it's going to be a record earnings. Okay. So we know it's going to be record earnings. We know they had record deliveries. So as far as the estimates are concerned, we have $2.26 earnings per share estimate, an average estimate of revenue at $16.35 billion. We think it's going to beat, period.
Yeah.
But what I want to focus more on is the bar that's been set. Obviously, Tesla has been sort of beaten down a little bit with the rest of the market, which is normal. What do we need to hear from Tesla to have confidence? And let me give you a few catalysts that we have on the horizon, and tell me which one you think really has the biggest potential. Because obviously we have general outlook, but we also have Berlin, Austin gigafactories, news, potentially India gigafactory as well. We have the EV tax credit. We have the full self-driving beta test launch, which is in Q2 of this year. The Cybertruck, that's second half of this year, potentially. And then the compact car, the $25,000 car, which that's not gonna get delivered. But if we hear news on that, which one of those catalysts do you think has the strongest ability to move this stock?
Those are all great catalysts. I think if I had to pick one, I think Cybertruck, because the anticipation has just been going on for so long that if we hear something positive about the Cybertruck, I think that gets investors excited, and particularly for retail investors, because the pre-orders, I mean, we've been going on 2 years on this now.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be something that'll get people excited. And really the semis, I think that started to kind of gain a lot of attention. We've heard that the semi trucks have been starting to be delivered to Pepsi. And so I think that that could be something that maybe people aren't really paying attention to, that maybe Elon Musk actually talks about tomorrow.
Is the bar too high for Tesla right now?
Man, that's a great question. Just given the way that the stock has come down, I don't think so. I think that they're appropriately, how do I want to say this? I think that they're appropriately valued, so to speak, right? I mean, obviously looking at the PE and it's $1 trillion stock, and you're thinking, what are you talking about? But the growth story here, I think, is still extraordinary. And so that's why I think it's appropriately valued.
All right. So guys, Wednesday, we will be live at 3:45 Eastern time. We will be giving our live earnings reaction. And what I want you guys to come with is also your numbers. So we're going to give our predictions on what we think delivery numbers are going to look like. You guys can throw those in the comments and make sure you show up to see if you can back up those numbers.
Yeah.
But record numbers to come, but what exactly those look like, we'll be giving our predictions tomorrow, as well as earnings prediction, and more importantly, our earnings reaction after hours to see how the stock moves and give you guys that information first. So make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so you can be there for the live stream. That's all I got.
That's all I got, too, guys. Make sure you see us tomorrow, and that's going to do it for us.
Bye.